So did you know Americans check their phones combined over 8 billion times per day? And it got me thinking, every time we pick our phones back up, we go through pretty much the same motions, Whatever we gotta do to unlock it, whether it's an iris scan, a password, pattern swipe, fingerprint reader. The very next thing that we see after unlocking our phone is the home screen. And unlike the iPhone, an Android actually has an app as a home screen, which means you can change it out, reinstall new ones, customize the heck out of it compared to an iPhone. And so today I want to show you my most favorite app or launcher for any Android phone or tablet, and that is Nova Launcher. So for those of you who are new to this whole launcher concept on an Android phone, even though it's been there since the very first Android phone, you may have never really understood the differences between that and an iPhone, or what that home screen can do in general, or how it works. So basically that home screen is an application or an app, just like your Gmail app or your web browser app or a game you download. The home screen of your phone can be replaced by what is called a launcher. So one of the very first things you do after you unlock your phone is you open up the home screen, otherwise known as your launcher, and then you find what application you want to open or run at that time. That's probably where it got the name as launcher. And with the Pixel 2 XL, I mentioned that that's the first time ever I had felt like I didn't want to or didn't need to use a third-party home screen launcher. And just recently I came across a way to make the Nova Launcher experience even better, and I'll get to that in just a minute. First thing you want to do is jump over to the Google Play Store and search for Nova Launcher. Grab that, click install, and once that's done, go ahead and hit the open button. And one nice thing about Nova itself, it actually allows you to back up your layout or your configuration. So if this is your first time installing Nova Launcher, you probably won't have a backup. So go ahead and ignore that portion of the setup and hit the next button. And the next question it's going to ask you is whether or not you want the light or the dark theme. So go ahead and pick your preference there. And it'll ask you to choose your app card style. Now this is the actual app drawer that'll open up. You can pick either the immersive or the card style. I would just go with immersive, the default option. That seems to look the best. And then here you can choose whether you want to use the button option for the app drawer, where you press a button to open up the app drawer, or you use the swipe up. Now, Android 8.0, I believe by default, you may already be used to swiping up to access your app drawer. And if that's the case, I would go ahead and stick with the swipe up option. You can easily change these options later again in settings, and then go ahead and hit apply. So the next thing you want to do is go ahead and hit the home button. And then it's going to ask you to choose your new default home screen launcher. And in this case, since we have the new Nova Launcher installed, let's go ahead and select that. And what you're going to want to do just one more time is hit the home button and make sure use Nova Launcher as home is the top option. And then you can set it to always open when you press the home button. So with a fresh installed Nova Launcher, you can always go into your app drawer, grab any apps that you want, and throw them back on your new home screen. And just as you might expect, you can drag apps on top of each other to create folders. You can open the folder, tap into the title, and rename it. So I won't go into every single setting with Nova Launcher. There's quite a bit, but for now, just understanding some of the basics to get you going is what's most important. What I'm gonna do, since I've already had this app installed on my phone previously, I'm gonna go into the settings and restore my previous backup. So I do that by holding down on the background or the wallpaper area. As long as it's not on top of an icon or a widget, I can go into my settings area. And this is the settings for Nova Launcher itself. And I can go into backup and import settings, restore or manage backups, tap that. And for me, I'm gonna choose document storage. And once you find the backup file, it'll ask you to delete the current layout. And then there you have it. This is my Nova Launcher restored back to the way it was before I installed it for this demo. So if this is your first time installing Nova Launcher, one of the nice things that you can do is actually import from your original home screen, which makes it easy so you don't have to rearrange everything from scratch. Use the import desktop from another launcher option. So that'll pull in your current layout from your built-in launcher. So So one of the many reasons why I really like this launcher is because of the flexibility with widgets. So let's take, for example, Google Play Music. And just drop it in right at the top. So with Nova Launcher, it makes it really easy to resize this the way you want. So if you notice how well it will scale to any size that you want. So even though I've resized this to the full width of the screen, for the most part, I can go ahead and hold it down again and edit the padding. That way it takes all the padding or margin away from the widget itself to really fill out the rest of that screen. And so with Nova, there is a ton of things that you can do with this app. You can jump back into the app settings by holding down the wallpaper, tapping on the settings cogwheel icon, and you'll see just a ton of customization options. And that's kind of the whole point of this, is that as often as we're using our smartphones, it's actually really nice and really convenient to be able to change it up, or at least the main part of your phone, as much or as little as you'd like. So you can either get rid of all the extra junk that you want to look at, you can really simplify it, or you can just have everything really nice and neat and organized. And so for me, for example, I just set up simple folders with all my different apps. I have, music type apps for guitar, the Play Store, or basically everything Google Play specific, I have its own folder for. My social networking apps, well, that's a ton of them. So then I have a folder called Frequent, which is really close and easy for me to access with really just one hand. But jumping back into the settings real quick, there are so many options that would just take forever for me to cover in this video. But keep in mind, you really don't have to use much of these. The default options are just fine. But if you really want to kind of drill into customizing the heck out of your home screen, beyond just wallpaper, I'm talking about the font sizes, the icon sizes, the icons themselves. You can actually install icon packs that support the Nova Launcher to get entirely different icon looks for your home screen and the apps. You can even change the folder background color, the app drawer colors and accent colors. And then not to mention the gestures are really nice. There's just so much you can do with this. It's just crazy. So a couple other things worth mentioning is that Nova Launcher does support app notifications, but not without an extra plugin called Tesla Unread. You can get app badge notifications so that each app or each icon, if supported, will show you if there's any notifications specifically for that app within the app icon itself on your home screen. The good news is Nova Launcher is completely free for almost all of the features and everything you've seen here. But to get the swipe gestures and icon gestures, you will need to get Nova Launcher Prime, but you may be able to live without it. At the time of this video, it does cost $4.99 in the Google Play App Store. And last but not least, the best and somewhat of a hidden feature that isn't built directly into Nova Launcher is the Google Now feed. Up until recently, you weren't able to access Google Now within Nova Launcher. And there's a little bit of a hidden trick to this, but you can enable it. And for me, that's one of the reasons why I came back to the Nova Launcher, even since having the Android 8.0 Google Launcher on the Pixel 2 XL. This has given me the best of both worlds because I get Google Now along with all the customization options that I want in Nova Launcher. So to enable Google Now, you actually need to go and download the Google Now Companion app manually from the web. And you would get this APK file from apkmirror.com. The best way to do this is to go to Google and search for APK Mirror Nova Companion. And the first option should be Nova Google Companion 1.1 APK download by Tesla Coil Software. Now, if you're watching this video on a future date from today, it's possible that 1.1 may be a higher number, and that's what you want. So if it's higher, that's totally fine. Go for it, grab it. And this is what it should look like. And you'll notice Nova Google Companion 1.1. You're gonna scroll down a little bit until you get to this red button that says Download APK. Go ahead and tap that. It's gonna ask if you would like to download. You're gonna go ahead and tap download. Now, once that downloads, you'll be presented with an option to open it. Go ahead and open it and click the install. And if you have unknown sources disabled, since you're downloading this APK file, which is an application from Chrome, your phone should ask you if you want to enable allow installation from unknown sources, which means that this app is coming from a third party. It's not being downloaded through the Google Play Store. So you're giving your phone permission to go ahead and move forward with the installation. You can access this by going into the settings that's prompted and toggling this switch right here on the right. It says allow from this source. Boom, hit the back button. You come down to this corner right here and continue with install. And that's it. You can open it and then hit OK, and you're done. So now when you go to the home screen, you will be able to access Google Now. So that right there is what makes this the complete package for any Android phone or tablet. So there it is, Nova Launcher for Android. Be sure to give it a spin. And as always, if you found this video to be helpful, be sure to subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.